7 sets of words that can make you look funny. Does this happen to you? While speaking, sometimes you get confused over which of two similar words to use. Sometimes you even boldly use the wrong word in public, only to realize weeks or months later that you used the wrong words. Imagine the embarrassment. You are not alone. It happens to the best of us. But there is a way out. 1 is constant practice. 2 is researching. And 3 is cross-checking. Just banish all assumptions. I have created some codes and mnemonic to make it easy to remember the right options. Now let us start. The first set of words is beneficiary versus benefactor. Wrong example. Although I have been his beneficiary since his childhood, he has been ungrateful to me. How can you be someone's beneficiary and still you expect the person to be grateful? Actually, what you mean is that you have been the person's benefactor. The person who does good or gives money for a good purpose is a benefactor, while the person who received the benefit or generosity is a beneficiary. So the correct way to say it is, although I have been his benefactor since his childhood, he has been ungrateful to me. The code to use in this instance is to remember that benefactor is the actor. You can see benefactor. You can see actor. The person who acts is the benefactor, or the person who takes the action. That is the person who gives out, who is the generous one, who gives out, who supports, who helps, is the benefactor, while the beneficiary benefits from the action. You can see that beneficiary has benefit. They have similarity. So when you are confused, please remember that the benefactor is the actor, the person who does the action, the person who gives money, the person who renders help for a cause, while the recipient is the beneficiary. That person benefits from the action or the goodwill of the benefactor, who is the actor. That should be very, very easy to remember henceforth. The second set is dupe versus fraudster. Wrong example. The notorious dupe has finally been arrested. Now you ask yourself, what a life. When trouble visits a person, it brings along its kith and kin. Why should a person who has been duped be called notorious and also arrested? A dupe is a person who has been deceived or tricked and not the perpetrator of such deceit. What it means is that the dupe is the victim of fraud. So the dupe is not the one who commits the act of fraud. The dupe is the person who receives the action of fraud, the person who suffers it. So the dupe is a victim. You should not be punishing the victim. So the correct way to say this, the correct way to use that example is, the notorious fraudster or duper has finally been arrested. Note that the person who dupes is the duper, not the dupe. The dupe is the person who has been duped. The third set is mediocre versus mediocrity. Wrong example. This company stands for excellence. Mediocres are not tolerated. Mediocre is an adjective and cannot be a person. Mediocrity is A, the state or quality of not being very good. B, a person who does not show very good qualities or abilities. Right or correct? This company stands for excellence. Mediocrities are not tolerated. Another example, he who wants to be a leader must rise above mediocrity. Another example, a mediocre writer cannot make it to the top. So, mediocre, a human being cannot be a mediocre. A human being can be a mediocrity. Sometimes it sounds wrong to the ears, but that is the correct one. You can check it in the dictionary after watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more of this while you are watching this. We will go to the fourth set of confusing words. This gets so many people into real deep confusion. So many people have argued over it and have called me names until they went to the dictionary and they came back apologizing. This said is taxing and tasking. The wrong example. Writing may look simple, but it is really tasking. Tasking from a task, a duty, an assignment, or something. No, you don't use, that is not the adjective for this. Task can be a noun, a piece of work one does as a duty or a difficult undertaking, or a verb to assign a job to someone or to make great demands on someone's resources or abilities. But it is not an adjective. You can't say that a job is tasking. When I mean tasking, I mean T-A-S-K with I-N-G. No, a job or a duty or an assignment can never be tasking. It can only be taxing from the tax you pay. This is usually, people find this as a surprise because they are used to saying that a job or a duty or an assignment is tasking. No. Now the noun, let's have some correct examples how to use task in sentences. If you want to use it as a noun, you say your new task is to take care of the website. Now for the verb, you say you are tasked with the new role of taking care of the company's website. You are tasked. Now the verb, when you want it to be a continuous, when you want to add ing to it, you say, before tasking me with the new role, why not give me some training? This should be the way. Before you give somebody a new role, at least you should give the person some training so that the person will understand the role perfectly. So before tasking me with the new role, tasking, that is when it is continuous tense, it is emotion, it is progressive. Before tasking me with the new role, why not give me some training? On the other hand, to tax is to impose a tax on someone or make heavy demands on someone's powers or resources. Correct example. Writing may look simple, but it is really taxing. Taxing from tax. That is to show that it is demanding, it is difficult, it is not easy. Taxing, not tasking. No, tax in. In this case, Taxing is an adjective qualifying writing. It means physically or mentally demanding. So writing may look simple, but it is taxing. Another set of words that people misuse regularly is troubleshooter versus troublemaker. Wrong example. Be warned that we do not tolerate troubleshooters here. Gracious. Is it a lawless society? Why are peacemakers not tolerated in this place? The terrible misconception here is that many people interpret troubleshooting as troublemaking. Ironically, a troubleshooter is someone who identifies troubles in machines, organizations, or situations and solves them. So, a troubleshooter is a problem solver or a peacemaker. So, why should you say that you don't tolerate troubleshooters in your country, your province, your city, your state, or your organization? That means you don't want good people in your environment. But we know that that was not what was meant. You thought that troubleshooters are troublemakers. No, troubleshooters are problem solvers. They are peacemakers. They are solution providers. So please, we need troubleshooters in every environment, in every community, every city, every organization, every nation. So the way to actually use that expression is be warned that we do not tolerate troublemakers here. Yes, nobody should actually tolerate troublemakers. The correct way to use troubleshooter is to say there are so many crises in the nation that we need the services of troubleshooters seriously. Yes. Now, the sixth one is lend versus borrow. Wrong example. Please, could you borrow me your pencil? Wow. Does this mean, could you borrow from me your pencil? Is this possible? Could you borrow from me your pencil? Well, we know that that was not what you meant. So if you have John and Mary, John has a pencil. John is giving the pencil to Mary. John is lending the pencil to Mary, while Mary is borrowing the pencil from John. So John is the lender, Mary is the borrower. So the correct way to say it is, please, could you lend me your pencil? There is a code here. Lend and loan have related meanings. They have 4 letters and they both start with an L. The seventh one is popular versus famous. And then we will also discuss famous versus infamous. Right. He is a famous writer, but he is not popular in politics. Famous means known over a wide area for a long time, while popular means favored or liked by many people. A famous person is expected to be popular too, but it may not necessarily be so. Because fame involves a wide area, one could not be said to be famous within a town or neighborhood. Therefore, one can be popular without being famous. Note that the opposite of famous is notorious. That is, famous or rather well known for something bad instead of infamous. Infamous is a strong word which means wicked, but it does not necessarily follow that the wicked person or his or her act is known over a wide area. For example, he was sentenced to life imprisonment for the infamous act of serial murder. Politicians can be famous because they are known over a wide area. Musicians can be famous. A famous, person does not necessarily need to be very well loved. The person can have some traits. People will just know the person. The name is well known, but the person may not have such a pleasant personality. The person is very famous. So, anytime you find this confusing, please consult your dictionary or come to my website or send me a message. I will always respond to you. I feel very happy offering such help. And also, we have books, on that. Please don't forget to click on the subscribe button for more of my knowledge sharing videos. If you enjoy this, please share it to others so that they will also enjoy it. Thank you. See you in the next knowledge sharing video. Bye.